Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Tranquil Living Uruguay podcast. It's currently January 2026. It's a new year, fresh start. However, there is something no one warns you about. January may feel like peak summer vacation here in Uruguay, but financially, it's the most expensive time of the year. And if you're living here as a foreigner, it can catch you off guard. um, no one warns about January between like vacations, taxes being due, extra childcare costs, utilities, insurance. This 1 month can really drain your budget if you don't plan accordingly. In this episode, I'll break down why January hits hard financially. So let's get into it. Most people right now are spending quality time with their family at the beach. Everyone hits the beach. And the norm is taking a minimum of 2 weeks vacation. Some people even go up to a month or even spend the entire summer, 2 months, January and February, if they're able to, at the beach, which is kind of unheard of because coming from the United States, I mean, to take a week vacation is big. 2 weeks, wow. But here, like they really value their vacation time and they take it. So anyway, so December is usually considered like the happiest time of the year, right? There's a lot going on between school year coming to a close, which brings graduations, end of school year parties, family-friendly activities such as performances, recitals, and then Christmas and New Year's. And so, like I always say, December is like the happiest month of the year and busiest. And then January is the most expensive month of the year here. So let's get into it. Summer vacations, as I was saying. So to take advantage of summer months, when the kids are out of school, you'll be spending time and money on vacation at the beach or traveling around Uruguay. The capital city of Montevideo is very quiet this time of the year, and businesses usually close for 1 to 2 weeks at a time. So extra spending for vacation is a given. The second point I want to hit is paid vacation for employees known as licencia. If you have domestic help, such as like a cleaning lady or a home cook, they usually take time off for vacation as well during January. And since labor laws here for domestic help are strict and they have to be registered in the Social Security system, and if you do have in-home domestic help, you are their employer. And they are allotted paid vacation days depending on, their monthly hour and schedule, et cetera. For example, like this year, I have a cleaning lady and she was allotted 4 vacation days of the year. So you're paying for paid vacation during this time. And I also want to note that domestic workers here do get paid a bonus 2 times a year, once in July and another in December. So for those 2 months, that is an added expense for the year. If you have kids, you also have summer camp fees. The summer camps, they call them colonia de vacaciones, and they can range from, a couple hundred to like 200, 300, 400 a month. For private school, if you have kids in private school, tuition here is paid monthly throughout the entire year. So all 12 months, you are paying tuition for private school. And especially in January when you have summer camp, you have the added cost of summer camp for childcare needs during that time. The third one I want to hit is the car tax, also known as the patente, is due January 20th every year. You have the option of paying your car tax in installments throughout the year or paying the total year's cost in full upfront with a 20% discount. If you have a car, everyone has to pay the patente, and these costs add up. The car tax is estimated by the Intendencia, which is the local government, based on the make, model, and year of the car, whether it's a diesel, gas, or like naphtha is what they call it here, or if it's electric. And then, like I said, just having a car in general is expensive in Uruguay, not just because gas is pricey here too, but also because of this tax. And with a 20% discount, a lot of people tend to opt to pay the entire car tax up front. I personally think it's worth it. So we started doing it this year. Before we were doing the quarterly, I don't think it was quarterly. I think it was like 5 installments total throughout the year spread out. But I think it's just worth getting the discount at the end. And just to have an idea, obviously the price is dependent and subjective on like make, model, year, and the type of car that you have. Ours, we have a van, like a Hyundai van, and it actually came out to $960 with the 20% discount, paying everything up front. Okay, speaking of tax, number 5, property taxes are also due around this time of the year. The exact due date is dependent on each local government, like the intendencia. And where I live, the due date is in March, but you do get a 10% discount by paying in full upfront by February 18th. So not necessarily a January expense, but very beginning of the year expense to plan for. So luckily, the real estate property taxes are like nothing compared to the tax rates in the United States. I'll be honest, we haven't paid more than $400 per year on our property taxes to the Intendencia. Because we live in a rural area and our property is considered rural property, for that we do have to pay an additional fee or tax to BPS, which is another government entity. It's not the tax administration, but it's the Social Security office. And this one is paid quarterly. And this estimate is subjective. It's based on factors such as your property size, how the property is being utilized, whether you're doing farming or non-farming, whether goods are sold based on, the farming practices that are done on the land. So, that's also another expense to keep in mind. That one is quarterly. From my experience, there is no discount you get paying in full upfront. But again, this one is due in the first quarterly bill is due in January. And so you have to plan for that. And again, this amount is subjective based on the factors of your rural property type. Utilities is also another factor adding to January's expenses. Because it's summer, you tend to be home more, using more electricity. You use your AC unit more for cooling. If you have a pool, this is an added electrical expense, to run the pool pump, filter, etc. And water bill too. The water goes up if you have a pool, for example, this time of the year. And yeah, so that's kind of like a given, utilities to plan for. And the last one I want to hit on is insurance. This one varies. It obviously depends on what time of the year you activated your car and homeowner's insurance, as it's renewed on a yearly basis. You do have the option to contract for like a multi-year insurance coverage. I know like up to 2 years, which will give you a discount in the end. And unfortunately, like our car and home insurance hits in January because that's when we had initiated it. So basically, like we personally get slammed in January when it comes to bills and added expenses, as do most people for the variety of reasons that I just laid out for you. So these are just some of the examples and things to look out for when it comes to expenses in January. And if you have any questions on any of this, please reach out. I'm here to help where I can. And that's about it. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening or watching to this podcast. My goal for the Tranquil Living Uruguay is to be your passport to Uruguay and to provide as much value as possible for those curious about Uruguay, a place I call a hidden gem south of the equator. Whether you're traveling through or you're an aspiring expat, I'm sharing real life lived experiences from the perspective of an American Latina millennial expat. And remember, life abroad doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be tranquil. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Cheers.